Welcome to episode 4 of Ask an Attorney Anything. What do I do when I get a traffic ticket? Before we jump into the substance of the program, I just want to give you this disclaimer. The contents of this video is purely for educational purposes and does not represent legal advice by the Wallace Law Group or Steven Wallace. Okay, let's jump right into it. So you've had a bad day, you're stuck in traffic, you're racing to get to pick up your children, or you're racing to get to work on time, and you go through a stop sign. And without you noticing it, there's a police officer right behind the intersection. They pull you over. First thing that you do is you have to act very, very calm, cool, and collected, and be very, very polite to the officer. Oftentimes, if you're very polite, there may be a remote opportunity that they may just issue a warning and not issue a ticket. Now, I can tell you that if you're speeding in a school zone, or if you end up in an accident of some sort, and the cops saw the accident, it's highly unlikely that you'll get out of the ticket. But the key is be calm, cool, and collected. Don't act heated. Don't act upset, because if you act heated and upset, the officer could think that you may be under the influence of alcohol or any other type of controlled substance. Or they may want to, because you're hostile, might want to take you out of the car, do a DUI test on you, or want to potentially search the car. So let's assume that you're extremely nice to the officer, and the officer gives you the ticket anyway. So you go home, you're upset. The last thing that you want to do is just pay the ticket. The reason being, if you just plead guilty and pay the ticket, you're going to get points on your license. Depending upon the severity of the moving violation, it could be substantial points on your license. And as a result of that, potentially, if you have other moving infractions, you could potentially lose your license. Or alternatively, and definitely, your insurance will go up significantly. So what you should do, we represent many clients in South Florida, primarily in Palm Beach and Broward counties. And we're very affordable. We charge a flat rate, and we assure the client that the flat rate is refundable if they get points on their license. So a couple strategies when we go into the pretrial hearing. Generally, we set the case for trial 90% of the time. And depending upon the circumstances, we may want to try to file a motion to dismiss based on improper ticket writing. If, for example, if they miswrite the statute on the ticket, the traffic hearing officer has to dismiss the case. So then, what we do is when at the pretrial, at that time we'll get a date for the trial. It's unlikely that we will need you to testify at trial, because it's a moving infraction. As a defendant, you are not required to testify at trial. We've been handling traffic cases in Palm Beach and Broward County for over 15 years, and we have a lot of relationships with law enforcement throughout those counties. So generally, we're able to, at the very least, allow you to plead no contest and no points. Sometimes, depending upon the circumstances, we may be able to get the case dismissed, which would mean that you would get no points and there would be no fine involved. If you plead no contest, generally, depending upon your driving record, but most times you'll get a limited fine and then court costs. And those generally have to be paid within 90 days. And then, ultimately, if we go to trial and we prevail on the facts, and we've done that on numerous times, like, for example, if there's an accident involved in the case, we generally take the cases to trial. And if no witnesses show up, then the court is required to, under Florida statutes, to dismiss the case. Also, and generally, if a ticket is issued in an accident and the officer didn't see the accident, then they cannot testify because they don't have personal knowledge. And so, in a nutshell, simply don't just pay that ticket. The costs involved by paying the ticket in your future insurance expenses will have some grave financial consequences for you. So I hope you enjoyed today's installment of Ask an Attorney Anything. And please keep in mind that subscribe to us, subscribe up here, and also leave in the comment section any future topics that you would like us to cover. Once again, I'm Steve Wallace with the Wallace Law Group. You can reach us at 561-877-6020 or reach us on the internet at thewallacelawgroup.com. Stay safe and God bless.